If I told you my story, you wouldn't believe it until you actually know that people do lie. I can start from one story and tell you about my son meeting a girl, liking her. They were young. She was 15 at the time. But when she arrived at my home for the first time, she was already pregnant. She had a pulse, and then the next 2 or 3 months, my son said that he got a baby. And so I asked my son, when did you all start having intercourse or having sex? He said, well, I didn't touch her until December. I said, she was pregnant before she came here. I said she was pregnant. She was a little chubby girl, so no one would have probably noticed it but a elder that knows what the body changes of a female's body. So, come to find out, I didn't be mean to her. He still continued to date her, knowing that it wasn't his child. And she tried to put the baby on him, knowing that it wasn't his. She knew who the father was. Okay, come to find out, she come from a home that her mother has been locked up in penitentiary, had been there. But later on, we found out that she has a stepfather here that was married, that remarried, and she tried to fight the stepmother for whatever reason is, and she got put out. She had been bouncing from different relatives, the little relatives that she did have in Dallas, and she had been jumping from different houses. And so, of course, my mother, she's old school, so that's what they do is when people don't have places to stay, they'll take them in. This is something that older people would do back in the past when people have problems with their families, or mothers, fathers situation, or if someone was temporary homeless, they would take them in and take care of them. So my mother took her in, and so even though she had the baby or whatever, and knowing it wasn't Frederick's, for a while he dated her, and then all of a sudden, maybe a year later, 2 years later, his foolish behind turned around and got her pregnant. But at that time that she was living here with my mom, she would sneak out 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We told her, hey, if you're going to be in this household, you can't just come in and out when you please. You don't have a job. You're not in school. Because we try to encourage her to go back to high school. We try to encourage her to go to at least get a GED. She did refuse. She really wanted to be in the streets. She was stripping in the strip clubs and stuff like that. She had a real fast life at 15, 16, 17 years old and 18. So the bummer is she left our house pregnant. Pregnant. And at that time, she came back probably around 8 or 9 months of being 8 or 9 months, and she just said, hey, she was pregnant. And before that time, my son and her had already broken up because the first baby she tried to put on him. Now, had not been confirmed if this was his baby because she was sleeping with a lot of men. He wasn't the only guy that she was sleeping with. But when she had the baby, we went to the hospital, and so we tried to do the right thing. Me, my mother, my son. And what's so crazy about it is we walked in, she almost lost her kid through CPS because CPS was getting ready to take it because come to find out she had been doing drugs while pregnant, and we wasn't aware of all this. And so when we were at the hospital, we went to go see the baby, and we asked CPS, is it my son's? And the CPS said no. She said that you all don't have anything to do with it. So she was playing games. So she had us come up to the hospital. We signed our name on the books, showing having record that we were at the hospital and talked to CPS. I tried to call CPS more than once. They ignored my calls and saying that she said it wasn't his. No, only thing that she did on this birth certificate, she didn't put no man's name on the birth certificate. So it was lack of CPS and lack of them not confirming it, who the father was. And it just overwhelming because they just automatically denied us where he was trying to get a DNA test, and the girl was just saying no, it's not his. Several, I'm gonna say maybe 2 years later, then all of a sudden she comes up and tells his best friend that a homegirl that this is his baby. The homegirl comes to me and say, she said that's Frederick's baby. Me and my mom tried to give her baby clothing and everything, and she said, if I can't have my boyfriend back, then I don't want my child to have nothing. And I'm not going to let them have a part of it. This is the twist of the mindset of girls. Then later on, 4 years later, she moves the baby into another town that we're not familiar. We live in the city of Dallas. And so she moved this child in a town far away from us in Fremont, Texas. My son gets subpoenaed to court. My son automatically volunteer in doing DNA tests, not by what the other woman that she gave the baby to, a stranger. They're standing on that she's a fifth cousin, and there's no record showing that this woman is a relative at all. No blood ties. Not coming up in a database of ancestry or anything. I've done my research and there's no connection. Now I will say there's a history of her family, that they have a history of women not being married to their fathers. It's consistent. Her mother had been locked up. Her mother didn't have no concern. So when her mother got out, her mother didn't even try to seek for the grandchild. Now we've been in court ever since this child, that we found out that it was my child, trying to get child custody. The lady that has it has specifically lied on court documents, said that we didn't want the child. The lady has said nobody on the paternal side wanted the child. No one on our side was subpoenaed. My son went to court or whatever. The lady even lied on me and said I couldn't go in because I had my other grandson. And if I could, then I would have been able to. I probably still wouldn't even be able to speak, because you have to be a witness, you have to be already on record. So the lawyer lied and the lady lied. And the judge allowed it based on hearsay. So never say that court systems does not do things correctly, because they don't. It's not the first incident. This is just the first incident. It's another incident. It has occurred in the city of Dallas as well, with a lawyer named Kim Cooks at the time. And then later on, based on that lie, she turned back around and took the judge's job, because the judge permitted her to let that hearsay go on record. And so when she ran for office, she turned back around and took that judge's place. Now, I'm one of the families that had been wrongfully lied on and slandered in the city, in Dallas County, in the city of Dallas. Now, the reason I say that it is corrupt, because it is, because the judges do not verify when it's dealing with child support. They do not verify, and sometimes in child custody, they do not verify that what is said is true. They just go based on hearsay. Whatever the lawyer say is written in stone. They don't verify proof. And my thing is, when you lie on me and say that I'm on welfare, when you lie and say that I'm on food stamps, and when you lie like that, that's a bit stretched. Now, the reason I'm going to say this, at that time, I worked for the government for several years. That judge allowed them to put that on record behind me. So when I tell you they slander your character, they will slander your character without verifying proof. And they will not notify any family member when their names are being brought up, and they will put it on record. They have done it on a consistent basis. When you have lawyers that do not play fair. They do not play by the law. They make up their own rules and regulations, just like some judges do. There's some good judges out there, but it's more corrupt ones that you can't sometimes see a good judge because of. And then sometimes you can be a good judge and you make wrong judges based on your personal emotions instead of dealing with the facts. And when I have seen judges get emotionally involved in cases, and when you're supposed to be applying the law and fact finding to see if it was valid. Now, two grandchildren, I have been slandered consistently for no reason. And a lot of people need to wonder if this woman has a good character, worked for the sheriff department, worked for the government. And what kills me, when a person commits a crime, they so quickly to log in. I've seen judges log in the internet to see who you are, what your family base is. Now they can't find. They know for a fact that me and his grandfather have. We are public servants because his dad worked for the school district and universities. Don't have a history of violence. Don't have a history of being a bad parent, and don't have a history of doing drugs. So don't say what a corrupt court system won't do in child custody, because they do it all the time. They lied on my son and said he did drugs and so forth. I'm not going to say that he have a squeaky clean background, but one fact I do know that he's a good father, a good parent, and a good provider and a protector. And they have a tendency of allowing things to be submitted on court documents that are not facts or old information that has nothing to do with the child. Any incidents that you have had in the past 10 or 20 years and your child is 2 years old and your child wasn't born, or 10 or 12 and they wasn't born, they allow corrupt lawyers to add that on record. So that's why I say that it is corrupt. It is a corruption in child custody. It is the most money hunger games for lawyers and judges in general, because they have those that's trying to fight for a position to stay in office. Then you have lawyers that want that judge's job, and it has happened. This is no hearsay. This is facts. It's written on document. You lie on a public servant on court documents and said that she was on welfare. You said that she was on food stamps. You said that her son was doing drugs. And on that second